If you're trying to grow on the TikTok platform in the month of April, there are a lot of new changes. There's a lot of different changes when it comes to hashtags, when it comes to your descriptions, surprisingly, and new updates when it comes to the type of content that the platform and algorithm are looking for. They're specifically going to be talking a lot about photo posts, carousels, length of posts, not to mention how much 15-second videos are no longer working on the platform. So stick with me in this video and in this podcast for all the latest updates. So welcome back to another episode of the Key and Kelly podcast, where we talk about all things business, marketing your business, and having a balanced life. Today, we're having a conversation all about the TikTok algorithm and what you should be doing in the month of April in order to have success. Now, I know that some people are worried about a TikTok ban. We are not going to talk about that today, but we are going to talk more about what is happening on TikTok. So, on this show, we talk a lot about social media and marketing. And I talked to you guys a little bit last week how we were changing the podcast. But specifically today, I wanted to give you guys these updates all about what is happening on TikTok, especially if you want to be able to grow your business. So we will do another episode later on in the month, or maybe in May, talking more about TikTok Shop, because I just had a big meeting over with TikTok the weekend when I was in Washington, D.C. But specifically today, we're just going to focus on what the algorithm wants. So we all know, we've heard that TikTok is coming out with a brand new app that is called TikTok Notes, okay? And that is going to be more of a photo sharing app. Okay. Now, right now it's only available for those that are in Australia and those that are in Canada, but very specifically on the TikTok platform, TikTok is actually prioritizing content that are photos, okay? That are photos. And I know it sounds really crazy to hear that, but they are. And from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, because if they want to get people to use TikTok Notes when it comes to all the countries, then it is in their best interest to get people used to creating content that is photo based, and those that are doing it, showing them that, hey, here's the value of that. Because I believe that what's going to happen is that when TikTok Notes officially launches in all the countries, all the TikTok content that has photos on it, I think it's going to actually be pulled over to TikTok Notes. And I think that that content is actually going to be prioritized on the TikTok Notes platform. So if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck this month on TikTok, you want to do photos. Now, you don't want to just do photos on TikTok. You really want to do photo carousels. So on TikTok, I believe you can do up to 20 different images for carousels. And so I'm not encouraging you to do 20 photos. But what I am saying is that if your goal is learning how to do better on TikTok this month and moving forward, especially as they roll out TikTok Notes, then you want to get into this habit of learning how to create content on a regular basis that is photo based and that is carousels. So what do I recommend? I recommend that if you're going to do photo carousels, that first image has got to be attention grabbing, because we all know that every single thing that you do on social requires a hook. And so if you're going to do a photo, I highly recommend that that first photo be very high quality photo, a very high quality photo. And you have to have some compelling text that is pulling them to your carousel photo post. Okay. So you got to have a great hook and you got to have a great photo. Then, if you're going to continue with images in that carousel, you want to give them a good story, right? We have all been on TikTok and we have been drawn into stories, and we're just like, oh my God, this is just getting gooder and gooder and gooder, right? So that's the same thing that people want to experience when they are rifling through your carousels, okay? So have a good first image, but you've got to keep them and drawing them in through your story. And then, of course, your final image of that carousel has to be the conclusion, unless you're keeping them on a cliffhanger for them to come back for part 2, okay? So They're prioritizing photos on TikTok this month, carousel specifically, and I think it's going to pull over to TikTok Notes. The next thing you want to do with those photo carousels is that you want to make sure you have a great description. So we all know that TikTok is now allowing you to put over 4,000 characters in your description. And so very similar to what is happening over on Instagram and has been for the longest time is that people are doing longer captions, and people on TikTok are starting to actually read the captions before they actually unmute videos or what have you, because, oftentimes people are doing whatever it is they're doing and they can't necessarily listen to it. And so TikTok is really going to be pushing out content of those that are putting great detail into their captions, their descriptions. So if you're going to write these descriptions, you want to make it good, make it juicy, give people a reason to want to read the entire description, okay? Because people don't read things just because we want them to. They read them because we want them to, okay? Like as in they want to read it, okay? So you want to add a lengthy description as best as you can. Another thing to note about this month is that there are some very specific things that TikTok is looking for when it comes to posting cadence. So I have been saying for the longest time that you don't need to post 4 times a day, but what TikTok is looking for is they're wanting you posting a few times throughout the day, okay? So most people log on to the TikTok platform probably in the mornings when they wake up, so between 9 and 11 a.m., depending upon your time zone, around lunchtime between 11 and 1, and then typically in the evenings between 7 and 9 p.m. So think about it. When do you normally have your phone in your hand? When you're not working, maybe when you're on the way to work or waking up, when you're on your lunch break, and then when you're at home resting for the evening, eating dinner, or winding down. Those are some of the best times to post. Now, I want to take it a step further. If you know that your audience is going to be on the platform at around 9, I would post around 8:30. If you know they're going to be on around 11:30 for lunch, I would post around 11. If you know they're going to be on around 7:30, I would post around 6:30. So that way you already got your content on the platform so that when your audience logs on, that your content is what is going to be seen because it is already being posted there. Also, if you're gonna post multiple times a day, make sure you space it out. I had somebody recently tell me that they posted 4 things at a time and then just go away from it. And I'm like, no, that is not what the platform wants. They want you there multiple times a day. And then 2, they're not necessarily gonna show all your content to just one person, meaning that if I post 4 videos and John is coming to my, that sees me on the For You feed, TikTok isn't going to show John 4 of my videos that I just posted. They're going to show him 1 video. And then at some point in time, they'll show him the second video. So you don't want to just dump all your content on TikTok all at one time. They at least want you to give it an hour before you actually post your second video. Okay. So I highly recommend that you space it out. I would do between that 8 to 9 a.m. mark. And then I definitely would do between that 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. time frame. Another thing you want to do this month on TikTok is you've got to consider the mindset of your audience. Okay. You've got to consider the mindset of your audience. Okay. So if you are creating content, teaching people about quitting their jobs, okay, then one of the times to actually do that is probably not on the weekends, because they're not really thinking about quitting their job on the weekends. Sometimes, but not always. They're more than likely thinking about it right before they go to work, right before they come back from lunch break, and then right around that 5 o'clock, because they are like, oh my God, look at what happened, whatever, So whatever it is you're going to post about, consider the people that you're trying to reach with that content. What is it that they are planning for, right? So right now we're in the month of April and people are thinking about spring break. They may have just been come back from spring break. Some are just going on spring break. They may be thinking about summertime. They may be thinking about, summertime fun or whatever it is that they're doing for summer break, or they're doing for summer internship or whatever it is, You want to be posting the type of content that your audience cares about, okay? So for example, let's just say that you're someone and you teach a lot about menopause. Well, your audience may be like, oh my God, how am I going to manage this when it's getting ready to be hot out? I'm already hot dealing with menopause. Well, you can start posting content teaching them about what they can be doing now to minimize that, what they could be doing when they're going into hot environments, okay? Like I'm 43 and I'm dealing with it. And so it's important that someone is teaching me what is happening that I'm going into, so to speak, right? Or let's just say with menopause that a woman is actually getting ready to get married and she's used to doing all these things to manage her symptoms. Well, now she's got to think about the person she's getting married to, because like we're like super hot at night, so we keep the house really cold, but she's got to be really intentional about her significant other. Well, I recommend that if you're going to create content around menopause, then be thinking about the brides as they prepare for marriage and cohabitation. So when it comes to your videos this month, TikTok is very specific about what it is that they want you to do. And the number one thing that they want you focused on in your videos is utilizing that creator search tool. We all know that TikTok just rolled that out and it is helping us so much. All you need to do is you need to go to the search bar and type in creator search insights. And that's going to tell you a lot, okay? First of all, TikTok is going to tell you what is currently trending that you should probably create content about, okay? Just from a trending standpoint, okay? It's also going to show you where there's gaps, okay? So if everybody's creating trending content about Taylor Swift's new album, it's going to tell you that's all happening there. But if there is the NBA Finals or whatever, which is happening right now, and if there is a gap about NBA Finals content, it's going to tell you that. And if it makes sense for you to create content in your niche around the NBA Finals, then they're telling you create content around this because we don't have enough content about this and people are searching for it, okay? So if you start creating content in that window of time where there's a content gap and they've made it clear that we need more content about that, guess what's going to happen to your content? Because you are helping TikTok with what it is that they are trying to give to people and what people are searching for. So I strongly encourage you use this creator insight tool, especially in the area where there's our content gaps. But also with this creator search insights tool, it's also going to give you recommendations of the type of content to create, okay? Because I can create a lot of content around short video marketing, TikTok marketing, and things of that nature. And so it's often telling me, here's the type of content that is missing on TikTok in your particular niche. And if you create content about it, then you more than likely will have a lot of great results from those types of videos. And so it's not like TikTok is telling you the wrong things to create. They're telling you all the right things to create. And we just have to partner with them by using that creator search insights tool. Another thing that is working really well on TikTok this month is longer content. So we all know that TikTok has the new Creator Awards program that's rolled out for a little while now. And it's for those people that are creating content that is over 1 minute long. Well, 1 minute long content is still performing extremely well because that is what TikTok wants. TikTok wants us creating more longer content than ever. That's why you can upload a video up to 30 minutes now. Up to 30 minutes. You can record up to 10 minutes now, okay? And they are prioritizing horizontal content. So if you are creating videos that are longer than 1 minute, horizontal in nature, you are going to find yourself getting a boost from all of your content. Every single time I do a horizontal video, it does extremely well. Every single time I do a longer than 1 minute video, it does extremely well. Why? Because TikTok wants us creating that type of content. And when we give the platform what they want, they give us what we want in return. But in addition to that, it's really important to know that no matter how long your content is, you have got to be very good about your hooks. Because listen, people log on to TikTok to be entertained about what they want to see, not about what you want them to see, but what they want to see. And so when you're creating this content, you still have to be very intentional when it comes to your hooks. And your hooks are 3 different things. One, it is what's happening in the video the moment that they land on your video. That's hook number 1. Hook number 2 is the text on screen. What is the initial text on screen? It needs to be compelling and drawing people to stop and watch your video. And then 3, what are you saying in the video within the first 1 to 1.5 seconds? Okay. All 3 of those things are a recipe for a really great hook. And also, TikTok wants the 70% of people that stop and watch your video to watch at least the first 3 seconds. Okay. TikTok wants at least the 70% of people that stop and watch your video to get past 3 seconds. And the easiest way to get people to get past 3 seconds is a hook with the text on screen, hook with the what's happening in your video, and then the hook with what you are saying. If you are able to get people, 70% of people, beyond that 3-second mark, you are going to find that your content is going to continuously be pushed out and is going to do extremely well. Now, I know this is a lot of stuff that you are hearing all about TikTok marketing. And listen, like I wanted to give you all the things here on today's episode. I do have some more, so just keep watching, keep listening. But I know this can be like, oh my God, that's a lot of stuff to do when it comes to TikTok. But here's the deal. If you want to have the greatest results on any platform, you want to know what does this platform want, and you've got to give it what it wants. And so I am just coming here this month, just giving you actually what TikTok wants from the platform, you on the platform. The next thing I want to talk to you about is all about your hashtags. So TikTok has made it very clear what they are looking for when it comes to hashtags. Can you have success on TikTok without hashtags? Yes, you want to focus on SEO. But in addition to your SEO, you want to focus on using great hashtags. So one of the things you can use for hashtags can be trending hashtags. Now, if you are a business owner, I do not recommend that you use trending hashtags, but if you're creating some type of trend, then definitely use those trending hashtags. Like if there's some type of dance or some type of filter or what have you that you're using in your content, then 100% use those filters, those trending hashtags, because they go along with the trend that it is that you're using. But also you can use viral hashtags if they make sense, because the last thing you want to experience is using a viral hashtag and it messing up your FYP. So you can test it out by trying to use some of the viral hashtags and periodically using FYP periodically, like once in a while, because once you start using them, you're also going to receive all of that on the inside of your feed. And then lastly, you want to pay very close attention to these hashtags, which are your niche hashtags. So when I'm creating content talking about TikTok marketing, TikTok updates, TikTok notes, whatever, I am making sure I am using those specific hashtags, okay? Because when I use the hashtag TikTok tutorial, anyone that is searching for TikTok tutorials is going to find my video. Anyone that has interacted with content with TikTok tutorial hashtag is going to find my videos, okay? And I'm going to also receive more TikTok tutorials in my FYP because I use that hashtag. So when you're creating content and using hashtags, you want to make sure that you use some trending hashtags, some viral hashtags, niche specific hashtags, specific hashtags about who you want to target with your video, and most importantly, what the video is about. So if my video is about TikTok marketing, April algorithm, TikTok April algorithm, then I need to be using those hashtags to tell people this is what this content is about, which definitely helps with SEO, searchability, and reaching the right people. And then the last and super, super, super important thing that you want to pay attention to when creating content on TikTok this month is you have to make sure you are creating content that people are searching for, okay? You have to make sure that you are creating content that people are searching for, because if you're creating content and nobody's searching for it, it's gonna do bad, right? So for example, let's just say that you want to create content around hair care for cats. There we go. Hair care for cats. This may be a great video, but if nobody is searching for hair care for cats, guess what? It's not going to perform well. Okay. This is why the Creator Search Insights tool is so key, because it's going to tell you this is what everybody's searching for in your niche. Create content around that. I've had so many of my students that have come into my courses that are like, there's no content around this particular topic. And it's like, well, there may not be content the way that you're searching it. It could be something different with different keywords. And you have to make sure that when you are creating, that it's what people are searching for. So I know people are searching for content around TikTok tutorials, how to make money online, how to monetize your content, how to grow a YouTube channel using TikTok, things of that nature. And so I'm going to create content around that. Okay. Nobody is searching for how to move a 2-bedroom house from San Diego to Houston with 2 cats. I may be looking for that because I am doing that in the next 2.5 weeks, but it doesn't make sense for me to create content around that because nobody is searching for it. And so that video is going to flop if I create it and post it on TikTok. So you want to do a search, 1 or 2 keywords, maybe 1 or 2 hashtags, and see what is it within your niche, within what it is that you do that people are searching for that you can create content around? Because the best type of content on TikTok is what people are looking for. Sure, you can sprinkle in some of the other content with that, but make sure that predominantly you are putting in what people are searching for, because that's going to give you your best result. Now, if you're someone and you're saying, I really want to learn more strategies on how I can grow a business on TikTok, I would love to be able to work with you. I have an amazing community where I actually teach you how to build vertical video strategies that work for TikTok, Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, and LinkedIn Shorts. And I work with the community every single month. We host multiple calls per month. I do content reviews, profile reviews, all the things, all for just $45 a month. Crazy. 2 live 1-hour calls. I review one of your content every single month. You can ask questions every single week, every single day. And I give you the top 10 TikTok trends and Instagram Reels trends every single week, all for just $45. If that interests you, all you have to do is click the link in the description or in the show notes at kenyakelly.com/video accelerator. That is kenyakelly.com/video accelerator, and you can join us. And so thank you so much for paying attention to today's video, all about what is happening on TikTok this month with the algorithm. You're watching this on YouTube. If you enjoyed this, be sure to hit subscribe. I have 2 new videos that come out every single month. And then if you are listening to the show, please do me a favor, write a review. I watch all the reviews. I have not seen a review in quite some time. So I would love to know that you enjoy the show. So thank you so much for listening and watching.